All right, Mark Rogers TV talking Miami football. We do so with Cam Underwood from State of the U. Please join him there for the best in Miami football coverage. Join me for college football coverage overall right here on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just want to hear the audio conversations, the full conversations. Stitcher, iTunes, and Podbean. Just search Mark Rogers TV. All right, Cam, I understand you're rested and relaxed and ready to go. I can't imagine that you were worn down and tired delivering what you gave us the last time, so I'm ready for a big discussion tonight.
Yeah, man, just had a little end of summer vacation to get my batteries recharged and things like that. So yeah, let's hop right into it.
So we crank up with the first scrimmage tomorrow, it being Friday night right now. So we're looking at the first Saturday scrimmage here. And anytime there's a quarterback competition, that's the focus of fall practice and specifically these scrimmages, because this is when the guys really get after it.
Yeah, so, there's going to be a couple of scrimmages throughout the course of camp. I think they're scheduled to be 3 scrimmages, and this is the first thereof. So it's going to happen at Hard Rock Stadium tomorrow, August the 12th. It is closed to media and fans. And then directly after that event, the families of the players and staff are all going to have a meal. And then it's going to go straight into Canes Fest, which is the largest fan gathering event. So you can take pictures with your favorite player, get autographs, all those kind of things. So that's afterwards. And we have something up on the website about that. Just, stateoftheu.com and search for Canes Fest, and that'll give you all of your timing needs and scheduling and all those kind of things are already up there. But like I said, before Canes Fest tomorrow at Hard Rock Stadium is going to be the first fall scrimmage. And that's going to be a big one because obviously the first thing that you want to talk about right now is the quarterback battle, because we don't know who the quarterback is going to be. And I think that there are, from all reports and things around, there's basically 3 contenders right now. And you're talking redshirt junior Malik Rosier. He started that 2015 game at Duke, the one with the return by Cornelder for a touchdown at the end. And he played half of that debacle game against Clemson. And he's the only one with any snap experience in games in college. So he has that going for him. Next is redshirt sophomore Evan Shirreffs. Very cerebral guy. I say it all the time that he was this high school's valedictorian because it was true. I heard somebody say that he was Peter Ariz on his podcast actually said that he heard from a source that Evan Shirreffs is being compared to a more mobile Ryan Williams. So not the biggest arm in the world, but he can make all the throws. He's mobile, and his accuracy it's been better than it was, but yeah, that's one of his biggest strengths. And, throwing with anticipation and timing, those kind of things. So that's your second contender. And then you have the franchise, N'Kosi Perry, true freshman out of Ocala Vanguard, 6'4". He's up to about 175 pounds, give or take. Broke all of Dante Culpepper's records at Ocala Vanguard High School, 2015. Mr. Football for his classification in Florida, had less statistical numbers last year, but that was because they were blowing teams out. So he rarely played into the second half of games, but the kid has everything that you need. He can run, he can throw, he has a cannon for an arm. I compared him to Marcus Mariota in my recruiting notebook on signing day, and I stand by that. So those are your real 3 top contenders for the job so far. In pretty much everyone's estimation, mine included. So we'll see what happens in the scrimmage. Mark Richt has not decided if quarterbacks are going to be live or not. Live quarterbacks in that they can be hit and tackled to the ground just like anybody else, as opposed to the thud or, you tap them and then they're down, but making them live like it's a real game. He has not decided on that. And he said that after practice today, he was undecided, Mark Richt did. And if he does not make quarterbacks live for this scrimmage, he said he does not envision a scenario when he makes them live for subsequent scrimmages, just because you're getting closer and closer to the season, so you don't want, things to happen. And the last time that we had quarterbacks live for a scrimmage in the spring, Jonathan Garvin, as a true freshman, hit Jack Allison so hard he separated his shoulder and then transferred 2 days later. So there's something to be said for not necessarily making the quarterbacks live. But that's going to be the first thing that people are going to look at. How are they operating? There's going to be first-team offense against first-team ones and twos, I think, are going to be facing up against each other. So you really want to see how these guys operate in the huddle, how they get the offense going. Obviously, you got to hit your throws, make your right reads, and be accurate with the football, not turning it over and things like that. So, yeah, and that's the quarterback play is going to impact everything on the field, obviously. The defenses obviously are going against these guys every day in practice, so you know some of their tendencies on where they like to go with the ball. If you have formations that are the same, which obviously we're going to see because this is Miami practice, maybe, okay, if you're lining up, trips left, tight right, you're going to think, okay, cool, they're going to run this route combination because I've seen this 3 days this week. And then maybe a defender is cheating and then makes an interception. Anybody who's played a sport has seen this. When I played basketball, you would do that in practice. Like, we're going to run zipper. The guys on the other side know zipper because they run the same thing. So they're going to go and cheat to try to, maybe make a play. And then you stand out, hey, coach, I made a play, whatever. So things like that. But
Cam, there's so many aspects of the Rick decision about the live quarterback play that intrigue me, and you alluded to many of them. So this is a dilemma for any other football coach, more so than any other sport because of the injury probability, is that, man, I really want to see and get a read on my team and how physical they are, how physical certain players are, because it's almost not football if you're not going full go to a certain extent and hitting. That's what football is. It's blocking and tackling. But if you can't do that, you've got an idea, you got a really good idea, but you really want to know about some of those younger players and how they can stand up physically against some of the better players on your team, and you can't necessarily do that. But you don't want to get people injured. Now, if you've got a situation like Brad Kai as your starting quarterback, we know he's the starting quarterback. He's good to go. He just needs his reps. Then you make the decision, we don't want anyone touching Brad Kaya. But if you've got a quarterback competition and let's say 2 of your 3 quarterbacks especially are elusive, but who's really a tougher runner? Who can maybe break a few tackles? When somebody gets a hand on them, they can shake free versus a guy that's just quick and fast. And you want to make some evaluation of that. Well, you can't do it unless they're live. And just to see a little bit of toughness out of these guys getting off the turf a few times. And then in addition to that, as you know and have explained to us a number of times over the past couple of years, the development of the offensive line at Miami has not been as great previously as the front seven has been on defense. And then you expose your playmakers and specifically the quarterback on offense. And then another thing you alluded to was the cheating by the defense. Now, if you get that cheating along the defensive front, maybe they don't quite have the advantage as some secondary guys do in breaking on a ball versus a certain play, but they do get a read on protections, and maybe they have an unfair advantage, and then you leave your quarterback out to dry that way.
Yeah, those are, great points to make. And, we've had, like I said, injuries have happened in live scrimmages. You had Ryan Williams in 2004 year. In the spring, he tore his ACL in a live scrimmage running for a touchdown. Which opened the job up for Brad Kaya, really, because Ryan Williams was probably going to be the starter that year. Like I previously said, you had Jack Allison, who got blasted, separated shoulder, and transferred a couple days later by John Garvin in a live scrimmage. And yeah, I think the main thing is the first point that you brought up about having mobile quarterbacks, because the quarterback run game is going to be, I think, it's going to be a part of this offense now. And you really want to see how that works in a tangible kind of a way. So you're not like just doing the tap down, okay, I touch him and I'm sitting. So like you touch him on his thigh. Okay, cool, you're down. But maybe a guy spins out of that. You've seen this before. Derek Crudup, when he was a sophomore, I want to say, down at Miami, there was a play when he looked like he was swarmed under by about 7 guys in a game, and he scored like a 40-yard touchdown run, because it was a game and it was live. And when you touch him, he wasn't down because he kept moving and squirming and working, and he got out of there. And you want to see, is that something that Malik Rosier and N'Kosi Perry bring to the table? And you kind of have to balance that, is it worth it, to make them live and maybe have somebody get hit where they're injured, and then, it changes the dynamic of the quarterback battle and removes one of those guys from the competition. But of all those things and all the things that you brought up or said that I said, which is crazy because apparently I say a lot of stuff, but those are all great points. But I think the one really debating, if you want to potentially have a guy injured and or seeing what the quarterback run game is going to look like in actual practice, that is the biggest factor of the decision to make the quarterbacks live or not, in my mind.